Well, is this our last chance to buy extremely cheap altcoins before the bull run kicks off? Well, today I'm going to give you guys irrefutable evidence that, well, we actually might be in a situation where we're going to be only going up from here. But more importantly, I'm going to give you guys some of the best altcoins right now at some of the best discounts as well. So it's going to give you some indication as to what I'm buying right now, because after looking at what I'm going to show you in a second here, I come to realize there is no point in just waiting for a black swan or waiting for an event that's going to be like a, okay, now is a good time to just throw everything in. I think dollar cost averaging and not hoping for a black swan event is probably the best situation. And if a black swan hits and we've done our price predictions in order and correctly, I think we all agree lower is better anyway, okay? Now, one thing I want to point out before we continue with this video is channel OGs, guess what? We have a second camera. Yes, that's right. We are upgrading. I'm investing back in the channel, of course, as I always want to. And now we've got 2 camera angles. So things are going to get quite spicy over here. But guys, let me now take your attention over to the main screen and let's begin here, okay? So one thing I want to point out, of course, is this is an upgraded sheet to what I typically show you guys. I've included a lot more information on this to prove to you that, hey, we right now are possibly looking at, only upwards action. Now, I want to say a black swan event isn't out of the books. For TLDR and full transparency, I actually have about $20,000 US tucked away ready for a black swan event, because that $20,000 will literally be like 300x on these projects if we have a black swan event. So I'm prepared for it because I want to be, okay? But for those of you who have a little less money than that, for those of you who don't have this massive amount of money saved up, one, definitely, and this is so important, of course, as you guys know, you want to make sure that you know how much income you're expending every single week and month, minus literally everything, including leisure. And then, of course, you want to have that sort of any leftover money that you're able to invest and you can afford to lose, or at least not see for a very long time. That is what you put into crypto, okay, in my opinion. All right, not financial advice. I've got to probably say that, right? So let me begin with this, and then I'm going to take you through those altcoins, which will be these ones on your screen. There's about 13 of them that I'm looking to DCA in right now, or are DCAing into these right now. And of course, this sheet right here is going to be available for you guys. I've made it public, so of course use the link down below and I will let you guys view that just for the record. So again, I probably will repeat myself if I go over everything on this sheet, and I will make this actual sheet available for you guys. You know how I do. So what we've got over here is essentially the halvings, right? In green, and they occur obviously every 210,000 blocks in Bitcoin here, because Bitcoin spruces or at least ignites the bull run, because everything follows Bitcoin, just how it is. And so what we see is, every 4 or so years almost, we see these bull runs occur, so on and so forth. And I'm going to extrapolate this out in just a second and have a look at what it could be in 2028, because then we can backtrack from 2028's halving to get a rough idea of when the top of this bull run will most likely fall. And I'm pretty confident in what I've found here, okay? So we have about 548 days, exactly 548 days from the 2016 halving to the 2018 top. That same exact situation, that time frame played out again to the day from 2020 to 2021. You channel OGs have seen this. I've been talking about this many times. It's kind of freaky. So of course we can almost guarantee that's probably going to happen this time around. We just don't know the exact date the 2024 halving will be. It'll be somewhere in April. April 1st might be very ambitious, but it'll happen sometime in probably the first couple of weeks of April. Therefore, we can probably say October, November, December 2025 is likely when the top will happen. But of course, we can definitely confirm that, and we don't just want to use one lot of variables essentially to kind of confirm our bias on this, right? So we can do a couple more things. We can go top to halving, okay? So from the very top of the last bull run to the halving, and then build this out, right? 854 days, 873 days, 2.3 to 2.4 years. So that's about, what, 1 month-ish difference, give or take. And then we can kind of build it out over here. What will that look like minus, okay? We can kind of come back from this, and yeah, it kind of does pull out, as you can see here, to around what we can estimate will be the 2028 halving. Again, this is important because we want to kind of estimate when these 2 halvings will be. It just validates every other single bit of information that we use and build off this date, if that makes sense. And I kind of didn't want to touch too much on this because I know I will lose a lot of people if I start going right into it. But of course, I will most definitely go into it if you guys suggest it. So let me know down below. Nevertheless, I essentially go through a few different things here from top to low, from the top of the bull runs down to the lowest points in the bear markets. And then also I use low to halving, right? From the lows to the halving, how many days occur. And you'll notice that these are very, very close. Yes, give or take, we're talking about a couple months here. But if you noticed, back over here when we were speaking about when the top of the next bull run will happen, it's going to be within a month, 2-3 months. We can guarantee that. The most important thing is we get it within about a quarter of a year, right? So essentially 4 months. If we can get it around that time, we know when to get our positions in and we know when to take advantage. And why is this all important for this video? Why do we have to know this for the dips? It's pretty simple, right? If we know when the top's going to happen and we know when the halving is going to happen, and we can see historically when the market begins to pick up, right now, yes, today, okay, in September 2023, and even if you're watching this in the next few months, it's extremely important we recognize this, because we can now take advantage, because right now we are in slumps. September is typically, historically speaking here, a very bad month for crypto, and right now it looks like, as the hive mind tends to do, this is playing out, okay? So what does this all mean for us? Well, guys, as I mentioned to you at the start of the video, I am buying. This could definitely be our final dip. Again, is it guaranteed to be our final dip? Probably not. The main thing is, will these altcoins dip to these levels again? Now, again, a black swan event, which I'm preparing for, will definitely mean it'll shoot well below this, a lot more below this, probably like 50-60% more. But in the case it doesn't, look, these levels might be as low as we get for some of these altcoins, right? So the 13 I have on today's list, I've put here because they're extremely good prices, and I want to just show you some examples, because again, like when I put numbers on this, you begin to go, aha, that's like the aha moment people tend to have. All right, so HBAR, like, of course, I don't want to spend all day every day talking about these projects. You guys know and love them, and by the way, for those who are new to the channel, the 13 I'm talking about here, I'm fully behind. I'm not just showing you 13 random projects. I've researched these. I've spent hours, minimum 20-30 hours per project on this. So mark my words, I know at least, well, a little bit of what I'm talking about here, okay? So HBAR, now this is actually down 43%. So I'm gonna give you guys what each of these projects are down from their 2023 all-time high, okay? Not looking past 2023, just this year. To emphasize, again, we're not talking about, what these projects are down from the bull run. We're talking about what these projects are down from just the bear market alone. So again, HBAR down 43%. Now, HBAR, just to get back up to its all-time high, and I definitely think it'll shoot well and truly beyond that, it's 11x. So just imagine you putting in 5K and then 11xing that. Guys, if you haven't had a bull run before, it's literally a rush like you've never had before. You feel like a top G. You feel like the man, okay? And that's essentially what I'm saying here. Even a 2 or 3x, that adrenaline, that euphoria, is just to a whole new level when you 10, 20, 30x, okay? Some of these altcoins we'll get into which one. So now Quant, well, guys, Quant is down 41% from its, again, high in 2023, okay? So that's quite good. We're talking about a project here valued at $1.1 billion. And if you know anything about Quant, don't listen to Jerry Banfield, don't listen to any of those guys that just say Quant's an ERC20 token. They have absolutely no idea what the hell they're even talking about. Quant is beyond their comprehension, right? They're proper degens. Don't even bother about that. Follow your conviction in this case. And I'm telling you right now, down 41%, I think I just said, right? And it's a 5x from its all-time high. So when we're talking about down, yes, 41% in a bear market, again, in the bear market here, is fantastic. Up 5x, yes. Some of you might go to yourself, well, that's not much, like 5x. Again, I most definitely think of at least 5x. Hitting its all-time high right here will be easy for Quant, but again, I think Quant can go a lot higher than that, right? So let's just give you some perspective. Now, Near Protocol is actually a little bit more insane, right? Near Protocol is down 59% in just the bear market alone, so just teetering on 60%. But to go to its all-time high, which again, I've done the maths on this, it's 19x, but I think it can go more than that, okay? So again, 19x, guys, you have no idea how much even a 10x is going to do for you. 19, 20x on a project like Near Protocol at $1 billion market cap is pretty nuts, okay? And again, I think all these projects can definitely go a lot more than that as well. So XLM is actually down 25%, so not as amazing. And the reason is obviously because, well, the price recently spiked from the XRP news with the lawsuit. But if this gives you any indication into the explosive potential here, we had a project at that time. It was around about, $2.5, $3 billion market cap from what I believe back over here. And it spiked. Well, actually, let's have a look, right? So the market cap was around $2 billion back at the little dip over here, probably averaging about 2.5 billion, right? And then it spiked way up to about 4.5 billion. So it literally doubled. And this is what I'm trying to tell people. Like in the bull run, when we actually have more money, because this is just bear money, we're running on fumes right now, running on the market, like all of us staying with it, believing in it. And then we have these institutions and just more demand in general come in. It's going to be an absolute fiasco, just a monkey fest. but at least we have the foresight, right? I believe XLM, for it to go back up to its all-time high, is going to be at 9 to 10x, okay? And that's back over here. Again, I definitely think you can easily do that. That's, again, about $1 token, right? Very, very easy. And over here for XDC, again, kind of like XLM, it's had a recent pump because of some good news with the electronic trade bill over in the UK being passed, or at least almost being passed. And so what we did was we had a spike, right, from about 3 to 3.3 cents up here to about 8.8 cents, or essentially 9 cents, right? And so still, I think right now it's down 41% from this up here. So yeah, you know, we could have got a lot cheaper back here, and I fortunately did. I got very, very lucky and bought in right before the pump, and it was a massive fluke. But for those who aren't already invested in XDC, again, just hold off possibly for a bit more of a dip, but you're still getting a 41% discount, and it proved to everyone that it can most definitely shoot up over here. It just touched what, a $1.2 billion market cap, and now it's back down to 700 million. Yes, we might not see it around 300 or 500 million again, but I definitely do think it's going to be extremely explosive in the bull run, because 700 million market cap for what the quality of the project is nothing, right? So from its all-time high, actually only at 4x, because it wasn't really as known back then. Now, Algorand's an interesting one, because we all know Algorand's been put through the ringer, to say the least. So Algorand is right now 67% down from its all-time bear market high over here, which is a fantastic buy in my opinion. I'm waiting a little bit more, about 8.5 cents to begin buying again, just because of my own personal reasons with this project. I love it. Algorand is one of my all-time favorites. It's very, very sad with what happened. And because it's so low right now, back up to this all-time high, which we shouldn't really count, is more or less about a 36x, but I would say around this level, that's ish all-time high, okay? So yeah, we're talking about a 2021x. Will it happen? I don't want to say for certain with Algorand. I want to play it safe and just not kind of, I'm never advising you guys, but I just don't want to really, you know, draw you in the wrong direction, because I think Algorand is one of those projects that might suffer from that hive mind of SEC, but it all depends on the frameworks, of course. Mina is 68% down, so just scraping ahead in terms of how much it's dropped versus Algorand without the news of the SEC. Well, technically, I think it was mentioned by the SEC, if I could stand corrected here. But if we have a look at the 1 year mark, guys, we're at literally all-time lows for this project. That's it, all-time lows. ICO was 25 cents. That's when I got in. Okay, so we are very damn close. We're under a 2x from its ICO. As I said, we are 68% down on this right now. And to get to its all-time high, which I definitely do think it will even go beyond, which is I think around $5, $6-ish, it will go up a 27x. That's kind of crazy. And the market cap's only 360 million. So yeah, I would most definitely stand behind that, okay? Over here, another project we're at all-time lows on is Moonbeam. Just under 17 cents over here. From the last 12 months, it's down 71%, the largest, I believe, on this list. And if you click all, I mean, have a look at that chart. That explains why. Now, do I think it can hit the $10, $11 mark again, or at least what its all-time high was? Well, yeah, kind of, right? I think it's definitely going to be a stretch. I think it most definitely hits $10, and so I've kind of worked out from the $10-ish mark, not from way up here. I think actually if we come down to its all-time high stats, it's like 29, 30 bucks, which this chart doesn't even recognize. It was its launch. It was a bad launch. It is what it is. It's a 63x from $10. From $10, guys. I think it'll definitely, there's a good chance it will definitely hit that, I think. So, I mean, massive multiples here, massive legs down. You're crazy if you're not taking advantage if you believe in Moonbeam. Multiverse X, pretty much the same sort of thing over here. 60% down in the year. And to get to its all-time high, it's going to be about a 24x. And I definitely think it'll go beyond that. So, I think it definitely will be actually go beyond that if I'm going to be completely transparent with you guys. So another great project here. I've got a lot of friends who are very, very deep in the EGLD or Multiverse X ecosystem. Now, Casper, of course, I don't talk about Casper a lot of NDAs in this project. There's a lot going on behind the scenes we don't know about. But right now, we're just under 50% down from its high in the year. And if we click all over here, now we are about a 41x from its all-time high. Do I think it can hit its all-time high? Actually, I do think it can. It's just going to require a little bit more effort because it had a lot less tokens in circulation back then. Now, Polkadot, actually almost under $4. And I've told you guys under $4 is an absolute steal with Polkadot. Actually, I've been saying $5 as well. So look, if you're asking me, I think it's definitely a good price for this one. Now, to get to its all-time high again, it's 14x. It was about $55, I think its all-time high was, okay? So for a large cap like this, $5 billion market cap, most definitely, a lot of us do believe Polkadot, given the right conditions, could go to 50, I think even stretching $100 in this case, right? So what about Chainlink? Probably the grossest chart on this list. And I must admit it, I always tell people don't look at the charts, but I've got to admit it, it's holding extremely strong in this sort of channel between like the $4.50 range, the $5 range, right up to like the $7.50, $8 range. It's very, very strong in this area. Right now, $6. So at the highest point of the bull run, we are only a 33% down. So, you know, that's actually still quite good, but not the best. But I want to say, you know, for the record, if we're talking about prices in the range here, then we are kind of towards the bottom half, okay? So yeah, it's actually quite a good time in my opinion. And my dollar cost averaging in Chainlink right now, no, I've told you guys I'm going to wait till under $5.50, you know, as close as I can to $5, ideally, right? So with that being said, to get back to its all-time high, it's just under a 10x. So not the biggest on this list, but again, it's one of the largest in terms of market cap size, okay? So it's safer, if you will. And last but definitely not least, again, we have Flux. I've spoken about Flux so many times now. And as we watched in the last video, I actually spoke about and showed you guys a chart from Citigroup themselves where they analyze, you know, potentially where this crypto market will be headed. And one of the large markets will be distributed computing, which obviously Flux is a big player in. I think it will be the largest in my opinion, right? Eventually. And right now it's about a 68% down from its year open over here-ish, okay? So we go back to what is it from its all-time high? Well, it's a 13x, and I definitely think it will 13x, man. This project, actually, to be honest with you guys, I didn't believe it would get under 40 cents. So I'm quite surprised right now we're even teetering on being sub 30 cents. So if you're asking me, what a fantastic time to buy Flux. Again, I've got to kind of reiterate here, not financial advice, okay? So everyone, thank you so much for watching this video. Please let me know down below what projects you are DCAing into. And if you do, please let me know if you want to see me cover a wider range of projects, right? I've got my favorites. I've got like 30, 40 projects that I like to talk about here and there. But let me know if I'm missing anything and I'll definitely cover them as well. Guys, thanks so much for watching. I look forward to talking to you all soon. Take care. Bye.